Good evening, Stitchers. Welcome to Live at 5. Okay, let's see who's joining in this evening. Hi, Helen. Welcome. Hi, everyone. Gosh, how are we all doing? Happy Friday. Hello. Happy end of February. Hi, Carol. Oh, I saw you yesterday, Carol. I'd gone home, I'd forgotten my phone, and then I saw you outside the hospital, and I was like, should I start waving? And then I thought, you will have no idea who it is. Hi, Annette. Oh, you're very welcome. Hello, Michelle. Hello, Yvette. Hello, Rebecca. Hi, everybody. Hello, Maria. Thank you for emailing me the pictures of your pajamas. They look beautiful. I love seeing your makes. It's so nice. Hi, everybody. So, how is everybody this week? There's always a little bit of a catch-up going on in the comments section, and I am here for it. I love that we've created a little community here, and it's just so nice. So many lovely like-minded sewists. The sun is indeed out, Annette. It's beautiful, isn't it? There was a chap on the radio just while I was getting sorted, and he was saying how, I think he lived in Yorkshire, and he said everybody that he's seen today has been smiling because the sun's out, and there's been people sat outside coffee shops and things, and it's just like, yeah, it makes you feel so much better. Oh, hi, Shakila. Right, so this evening, I don't have a mega plan. I thought we'll just have a little chat about some of the denims that I've got in stock, and I've plucked a few things off the shelf to show you, and I've pulled a few patterns out. So yeah, oh, Maria's working on a bestie bag. Was that with the kit? Lovely. So last week I was introducing you to the new denim fabrics that I've got in the 11.7 ounce denims, and I've pulled some patterns out to sort of give you a feel of what you could use those sort of more mid to heavyweight denims for. In fact, I wrote a whole article for the website this morning, so if you want to read about denim, you can go over to the blog and it's on there. But yeah, I thought I'm just going to get a handful of bits and pieces out. I know a lot of people ask questions around denim weights and what it means and sort of how they feel. And it's very, very difficult to kind of put across through a camera or on a website, but I will try my best to explain these things. And then I realised I don't have a huge stock of denim in at the minute, so it's definitely going on my shopping list to get some more. Let's see, what are you saying? Good evening, Grace. Thank you, Michelle, that's very kind. It's growing on me, this top. Hi, Alice. Hello, Carol. Oh, hi, Beth. It's the weekend. I'm hoping that we get some nice weather this weekend, and yeah, that Sunday is a bit better, because last Sunday it just poured it down. Lynn is in a sunny Gran Canaria sipping a glass of cava. Ooh. Now then, Susie, that's usually joining in with the lives and is usually on our social stitches, is in Gran Canaria this week as well. So keep an eye out for a lady covered in leopard print and jumping in the sea. I don't think she's on the live this evening. Right, okay. So in terms of these denims that I was showing you last week, these are 11.7 ounce. I feel like I'm losing the plot this evening. I'm very sorry if this is a little bit disjointed. I think my brain's just retired for the day. And as you can see, they are a nice sort of, I would call a medium weight. They are not super duper thick, so they're not too thick to work with, because if we were going to get into the realms of very heavy denims that are more suited for sort of industrial sewing, then we're going to be struggling. These are just a lovely just a lovely weight, soft, and you know, they've got a nice amount of drape to them, and they're going to work well for garments. So I wanted to show you a few patterns that I'd pulled out just of what I've got in stock at the moment. Obviously, I know there's a lot of jeans and jacket patterns out there, but this is what I have that you could buy today if you wanted to do. So have I got these in reverse order? I have. So I'm going to start with a few offerings from Simplicity. Hello. I'm going to start with some tea because I need it. And first up, I'm going to share with you 9822, and I think that this is gorgeous. So this is, and I'm just going to hold this up to the other camera as well, make sure that YouTube get a good look. This is a lovely jumpsuit come boiler suit. It's obviously quite dressed down here, but a bit more dressed up here, and I really like that. So Mimi G's patterns in the Simplicity range are brilliant. She also does really, really good sew-alongs to go with her patterns, which are very, very clear. Both Mimi and Norris tend to film from a lovely overhead angle where you can really see what they're doing. Can't recommend it enough. I've had a customer recently that's made this up, and she was praising this pattern to high heaven. She really enjoyed making it. So yeah, that's a vote in my book. And obviously with that denim, just having that little bit more body, that's going to be spot on for making that one up. So that's a nice idea. I just saw a comment pop up. Elaine, I do think that they would work for the Aspen dress, which is why I popped them on the website last week. I think we were talking about that one. So yeah, ideal for the Aspen dress. Very similar in feel and weight to the Ace Animal print denims, if that gives you a little bit of guidance on where to go with that. Also in the Simplicity range, this is 8845, and this is a classic kind of denim jacket, and it's unisex. Again, I've had a customer that's made this one up. I don't know if Bev's on the live, but Bev has made this one, and she rated that very highly. She looked amazing in it, so I'll share that one with you. The only issue with this one is it's not the most size inclusive, as Simplicity can sometimes be. So you may want to look further afield for a more size inclusive pattern. But yeah, it's a nice style, that one, a good sort of classic denim jacket style. Obviously, we've got the Sew Over It Sorrento jacket, which I know a lot of us have made and loved. But that is only available as part of an ebook, so it gets a bit more expensive. I have bought in the last week and just printed yesterday the Style Arc Stevie jacket is what I'm going to have a go at making next. So I've pre-washed some denim to do it. I'm just all over denim at the moment. Okie doke, so that's a couple of sort of non-jeans options for you. I'm going to pull this one out because I love this. And I've only got the larger size range in stock, the 14 to 32, but this is the True Bias Riley overalls, and it's kind of shown as a play suit here. I know on the smaller size range, the full dungaree set is pictured, and that just helps. I'll just show it on this camera as well. That just helps give you a better idea. But yeah, a lovely sort of classic set of dungarees, and with lots of like really nice sort of top stitch details on the going here. This would actually make up really lovely in the cotton twills that we have in stock as well. I think that would be nice in either of those. Every time I see this on the shelf, I'm like, I want to make it up. And somebody lurking about outside the shop door, like, please don't knock on the door now. Live on Instagram. You're in the middle of making a spindrift jacket for Simon, and you really want to make the Riley overall. Yeah, you would really suit those, Michelle. They are right up your street. Obviously, there's the Closet Core Jenny overalls to consider as well, which have my name on. So, you know, but I didn't have one of those in stock, so I thought I'd just show you what I've actually got on the shelf that we can take away today. I love these. I just keep going back and looking at them. It's going to happen sometime, but I need to get this current denim obsession out of my system, and then I'll probably be like, no, I don't want to do it anymore. Hi Emma, nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. So flipping back to simplicity again. Crystal, I will give you an update on the bag shortly. It's going well. I've been working on it today, and yeah, I'll show you in a bit. But we'll go through some of these bits and pieces, and then I'll give you a little update on the bag. Very good, Michelle. No, he didn't have a plastic bag that looked like it contained alterations. He was just kind of looking through the window. They're not new patterns, Emma, no. So I'm just covering patterns that will be suitable for the new denims that we've got in. And I've literally been around this afternoon and pulled out some patterns off the shelf and out of the drawers to give you some sort of inspiration for what to make. So yeah, you haven't missed a great deal, don't worry. A bit of tea sipping and a bit of chat, but you haven't missed much. Not going to mark you down on the register just yet. Okay, so back to simplicity. This is 8701. Just go on there. Really liking this sort of wide leg trouser situation that we've got here. Simplicity did. Megan, honestly, Megan says that I need blinds for the windows. There are blinds and they are down, but it doesn't stop them looking in. You just can't. You can't with people. Okay, so wide legs seem to have really come back into fashion, and I am so here for it because I think sort of growing up in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was a lot of flares and a lot of wide legs then, and I've always really enjoyed a wide leg style, as you can see. So these just really appeal to me. I think they look very smart. I think they're technically down as a trouser, but obviously they are sewn up in denim and sort of styled as a jean here. And they've got these nice patch pockets on the front. We could always throw in the Tilly and the Buttons Jesser and the Fia as well, would be nice. So yeah, they're nice. They're the pattern hacking range, so I think they sort of come with like a lot of different options. It's sort of, I think it shows you how to do a frayed hem, how to do a track pant. Yeah, different things going on in there. So, but as a basic trouser pattern, I think that's very nice. Let's move these out of the way and put the ones that we have talked about to one side. Oh, I've got another simplicity there. I was on fire in that book. Sometimes it just doesn't throw out the things that you want to see, and then other times I'm going through it and I'm like, that one, that one, that one, that one. So I don't think the simplicity range is to be ignored. Okie doke. So, couldn't do this without mentioning the classic Megan Nielsen Dawn. I've made these as shorts. And I'd really like to make them again as jeans, but I think I've got a few adjustments to do to the fit. So I would need to revisit that. Show that one. But I think we've talked about this quite a few times before on the lives and on the YouTube channel. This is a kind of pattern that we've really talked about. I thoroughly enjoyed making these as denim shorts, and again there's a nice wide leg kind of crop option going on there, and you've got 3 different style options there. We've got a wide leg, we've got like a slim sort of straight fit leg, and then we've got a much more tapered, what does it actually call them? Multiple lengths for tall, regular and cropped. Tapered leg, straight leg and wide leg. So yeah, and short. So you do feel like you get a lot out of that one. Yes, Beth has made the Dawns a lot. And she made an incredible pair out of the 12-ounce denim that we have in. And Beth, can you share your secret for how to, when you're washing the denim, I know you said that you'd come across a way to stop it from forming the white marks when it's drying. If you can share that anti-creasing secret, that would be really good for everybody. me. I would quite like to know how you manage that. Because I have some 14-ounce denim from a long time ago that I pre-washed, and it came out quite wrinkled and marked. So yeah. Another very sort of classic option here. I feel like I've got quite a lot out to talk to you about here, but we'll just keep going because why not, is the Closet Core Morgan jeans. Obviously it would be the ginger jeans as well, but they're not in at the moment, so we'll talk about the Morgans. And these are designed for non-stretch denim. Very sort of classic jeans styling on here. Sort of a slimmer fit with this nice little turn up on the bottom. I do love a Closet Core pattern. I particularly like their instructions, and they always have really good resources on the website for sort of sew-alongs and nice picture tutorials. So Morgans, I would quite like to try them actually. Yeah, I might have to give them a go. You washed the denim in warm water in the bath, just with some washing powder, and hung it out to dry. Oh, thank you very much for sharing. Sorry, I kind of demanded that of you there. Tell me your secrets. Okay, so getting a little bit away from jeans, we can talk about maybe jean skirts. I made the Sew Over It Xanthi skirt just before Christmas, and I love that pattern, but it's not a paper available one. I do happen to have the Cashmere Ellis, which I think is gorgeous. So let me just show that on there. This is very nice. So we've got this sort of knee and mini option going on here. And you can see from the line drawings how we've got a lot of top stitching and very sort of quintessential denim style in there. I love a bit of denim top stitching, I'm not gonna lie. Did you wring it out? Oh, I love that we're sharing tips here. This is fab. But yeah, and obviously Cashmere are really good on the sizing side of things. Oh, that's a stretch woven. Give over. Oh well, you might have to size up then if you were wanting to use non-stretch. And finally, just in case, for the guys, we've got Wardrobe by Me men's jeans here. Let me show you that one, because there is a dearth of men's patterns, isn't there? And I do think Wardrobe by Me do some nice ones. So 10 to 13 ounce woven non-stretch denim. There we go. Perfect. So that's my little denim selection for you. Heard that adding vinegar to the wash cycle can help. Yeah, you'd have to wring it a little bit, wouldn't you? As when you get it out of the bath, you'd I'd have to throw them out of the window. Straight into the back garden. Oh, is that the one that you've used? Right, so Michelle's made the Wardrobe by Me one for Simon. Is that what you've used as well, Grace? That's really good to know. Oh, Mr. Stitches was like, can you make me a pair of jeans? Like, you've got to love someone a lot, haven't you? I mean, maybe. He is very nice. He's been down this afternoon and put some wheels on the zip stand so we can roll it around easily. But, you know, I could make him a pair of jeans, couldn't I, if I was feeling kind. It is, right, Grace has made that one too. So that's 2 votes for Wardrobe by Me men's jeans. There we are. So I'll just quickly show you the other denims that we've got in stock at the moment, just for comparison's sake, because that is currently one of the heaviest that we have. We do have a couple of meters of 12 ounce denim in, which is a good bit stiffer. And I'm just going to see if I can see it because I forgot to grab it. Oh, thank goodness for that. So I think this is the one that Beth used. And this is quite a bit stiffer. It's very rigid. I was checking this afternoon, the 11.7 doesn't say that it's washed, but to me it feels like it's a washed denim. So I would say that would be the difference, whereas this is a lot more raw, if you will. It's a lot stiffer. I mean, I'm sure Beth can probably confirm whether it softens up. I would imagine so. But yeah, like a classic indigo, and you can just see how sort of sturdy that is. And yeah, heavy duty stuff. You can go heavier in the world of denim, but you're getting into the realm of you can't really sew it that effectively on a domestic machine. So I personally probably wouldn't stock a great deal heavier than that unless it was sort of speciality. So that's the heaviest one that we have, followed by the one that I've just shown you, and that comes in 2 different colours. So this is the darker of the 2. This is the sort of classic blue, if you will. I love that colour. And also comes in a lighter blue, which is very not dissimilar to the pinafore that's behind me. Yes, Crystal, of course. So Crystal made the Jenny overalls for the blog. In fact, I was so heavy. I was mentioning that blog post on the blog today. So yeah, amazing. And it was really nice to look back through the blog, and I wanted to get some examples of projects that the girls had made with denim, and there was some really beautiful examples in there. So if you haven't had a look at that post, I would go and take a look at the post, and there's some links at the bottom. But we had a denim jacket, we've had dungarees, we've had a jeans skirt, we've had a pinafore. So it's like, it's really nice to sort of look back over time and see those. They're a very, very clever, talented bunch of ladies. So coming down from 12, we're going into stretch denim would probably be the next option. And this is probably around 8 or 9 ounces. It doesn't actually tell me, but I'm gonna guess. And stretch denim often gets a little bit misunderstood. I think people think because the word stretch is mentioned that it's got an enormous amount of stretch, and it really doesn't. It's got that much stretch to it, so very, very little. I would always describe it as give rather than stretch, because to me stretch is a lot. So just a bit of give. There's 2% elastane in that one, and that means that you can use your stretch denim to make any of the non-stretch patterns as well. Really, you're just going to have a bit more wearing ease in it, which no one's ever complained about. That is the weight that I use to make my Sorrento jacket, and I don't need the stretch in it because the jacket isn't too overfitted, but it's when you're putting your arms in it, I guess it's just a bit more forgiving. Thank you. My top is the Ellie and Mac. What was it called? I think it was called the Felicity something. Felicity, I think. I've slept since then. Yeah, and it came with a lot of different sort of neckline and sleeve options. But yeah, obviously I went with mega sleeve because why not? But I think it's nice because in a viscose jersey, it drapes. I think if it was anything stiffer, it could be a bit... Okay, so while we're in the sort of 8-9 ounce region, we've got just plain 8 ounce denim. I usually have this in a mid-wash colour, but unfortunately that's out of stock at the moment. It will be back, but we do have this very bleached version, and this is the lightest colour that I have. I made my Tilly and the Buttons Fear trousers out of this one, and they've washed and worn really, really nicely. So you can see that it still has body, but it's not thin. So it's going to be a good all-rounder. I like 8 ounce. Nice to work with. Your layers aren't getting too thick. So it's, I am a fan of that one. Crystal, how did you pre-wash your 12 ounce denim? Can you share that with the, with the assembled peoples? Now then, This one I feel is a little bit overlooked, and I adore this. Thank you for confirming it's Felicity. You know, I just have, when I have to think of things on the spot like that, my brain just checks out. I feel that this one is overlooked. This is a lighter weight, pushing towards more of a chambray kind of a weight, but it's still got a decent amount of body. And again, it does have a touch of the stretch about it. But we've got these tiny little stars. It's very sweet. And every time I pass it, I think, I like that. I think if I had to make an aspen, I would probably use this one and do it with the shorter sleeve, just so it ran me into summer a little better. I don't particularly like the idea of making the aspen with the long sleeve right now, because I feel like by the time I'd finished it, it would be too warm, if you know what I mean. So I'm always like, I'd rather have a shorter sleeve and put a cardigan on. But yeah, really, really like this one. And I think it just gets a little bit overlooked. Poor starry denim. And then finally, the last one that I've got to show you is the 4.5 ounce. And as you can see, this is a proper lightweight, more of a shirt weight. So this is going to do all sorts of everything. Ideal for shirts and blouses. You could do lightweight trousers, something like the Sophia's would be lovely. Dresses. It's going to really take sort of gathers and all that kind of thing. So I hope that gives you an idea. I just wanted to show you all the different weights and types that we have in at the minute. And yeah, I hope that gives you a feel that's going to fall over for the range that we've got. Yeah, it would make a lovely maxi skirt. Something like the True Bias Mauve would be nice with all the gathers. It would really give it that sort of, yeah, it would gather up nicely is what I'm trying to say there. So, update on the bag. Bear with me one sec, I'm just going to pop and grab something. I couldn't find where I put it then. That's like, I've put it down, I knew I had it this afternoon. So, oh, actually, no, hold on. Right, let me add a little bit of context to this discussion. So this is a bag that I made a couple of culottes, yes. It's just so random, the shouting things. This is a bag that I made a couple of weeks ago, and essentially I actually made this because I wanted to have a go at sewing with the leatherette that I stock. I'd been asked a few times what it was like to work with, and I thought, you know what, I don't know, I'm just going to give it a go. And in terms of choosing a pattern for it, I just decided to wing it and make a bag out of my head. So please bear in mind, I have no pattern design experience. This was just, I just thought, how hard can this be? So I drew a rectangle and I got a cup and I curved off the corners. I just did a bit of maths and I put this together and I put a two-way zip in it and I kind of came up with the tabs and things, and I was like, actually that's pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. This version isn't lined, but I just wanted to see what the leatherette was like to work with. Turns out it's really easy to work with, actually. It's sewed up really, really nicely. So very pleased with that. And I came away and thought, I think I could write that up into a pattern. However, I did think afterwards, just reading that comment, I did think afterwards, it's a little bit plain, so just front to back, it's kind of, and I felt like these corners just needed a little bit of finessing, a bit more curve. But I've seen a lot of people around and about with these small crossbody bags, and you can swap the straps in and out. So yeah, I was sort of really into the concept, and for a first attempt, I feel like that was pretty good. So I came away and I thought, now I'm on round 2 of sort of prototyping this pattern, if you will. I wanted to add a pocket to the front, so that has been today's job, along with learning I've had to sort of self-teach myself how to create the pattern in Illustrator, which has been a bit of a crash course, and then I've been writing all of the steps at the same time. so that eventually I can write them up into instructions. Yes, and someone's got it right away, purple package. So I figured, why not? And obviously, because if it's my pattern, I'm not limited by the number of copies that are available, and yeah, so on and so forth. So on we go, but it's going to take a bit of work because it turns out that creating a pattern's quite a tricky thing, and it's only for a simple little bag. Anyway, this is my revised front panel to the bag. So if you can imagine, that's going to be like that. And we now have a front pocket. So I've just been putting this together today, and that is lined there. And so that would be like the first step of the assembly. So it's been a bit of head scratching, but I've worked it out. So that's the panel, and then you can see you've also got like a panel of lining on the back, so that once you're on the inside, it's fully lined there. And that's just going to add another layer of functionality to it, I feel, because, you know, you always, I don't know about you, but I always want that front pocket on a bag to like put my car keys or my phone in the front. So I think that's just going to add, it's a lot of leopard. I think that's just going to add something to it. So I'm very pleased with that. So that's as far as prototype number 2 has gone. And then I'm just going to start working on the top panel. I got my measurements slightly wrong the first time. So this actually ended up a little bit thinner than I wanted because I hadn't accounted for like the seam allowances on the zip. So like I say, this is like a learning curve. So that zipper's going to go in the top there, and then work out how to get a lining in the rest of it. So that's the update on that one. It's gone a little bit out of hand from let's see what the leverettes like to work with to let's design a pattern. But, you know, this this is the creative process of this job. So watch this space. I will keep you up to date. But we did decide quite early on that it will...